Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite franchises in gaming, and as we go through this video today, I want to emphasize that I am more of a casual fighting game fan. I don't know a lot about zoning and all that technical stuff, and to be quite honest, I am not that good at fighting games, but I do show promise at times. However, as a fan of this series for so long, I wanted to get my thoughts and opinions out there. Now, I was a little bit nervous talking about this franchise because I felt like for me personally, I was stepping out of my expertise or comfort zone, so to speak, but nonetheless, I wanted to dive in because Mortal Kombat 1, made by NetherRealm Studios, who, might I add, is a very talented developer, arguably created one of the most disappointing games I have ever played. And that's no exaggeration. And I have played some disappointing games in my lifetime, like for instance, EA's reboot of my beloved Star Wars Battlefront series, and of course, who could forget Ubisoft's The Division? Remember that? Remember that game? Oh yeah, I do. So for an entry of Mortal Kombat to join these two is beyond unbelievable to me. Now, when you look online, you will see a lot of different opinions about this game, mostly coming from the negative side of things, and most of them are right, but we will get to that. The problem I have with Mortal Kombat is that this once groundbreaking franchise, known for its brutal fatalities and iconic characters, has been a staple in the fighting game genre for competitive and casual fans for decades. But in recent years, fans like myself have started to wonder, has the series lost its way? What was once a game that pushed the boundaries of violence and creativity now feels like it's stuck in the cycle of nostalgia, repetition, as well as shady business practices. And considering that the game has been out for a while now, I'd figured today we can go ahead and talk about it. So please, sit back, relax, grab a drink, and get a snack as we'll explore how Mortal Kombat's influence have led it down a path of creative decline, leaving longtime fans like myself and many others beyond frustrated. And by the way, if this video brings any value to you, please feel free to subscribe as well as like the video because it really helps me out in the algorithm. I appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Like I was saying earlier, Mortal Kombat has always been a part of my childhood. The very first time I really played the game was on the PlayStation 2, where no joke, my older cousins gave me the controller, not telling me how to play the game, and they just did air combos on me in every single fatality in the book. So my first impression of the series was not great, but the intrigue was there. I remember always trying to sneak my way to play the game when my parents weren't around because of the violence the game had, and the whole reason why I kept playing was to try and beat my older cousins and friends. But along that journey of playing, I started to really care for the universe and the characters. Hell, I loved the first Mortal Kombat movie. We don't talk about Annihilation on this channel, okay? We just don't.
Sorry.
And I loved the Scorpion's Revenge animated movie that came out a few years ago. That's a phenomenal film. If you have not seen that, go watch it. It is kick-ass. It's great. However, all of that being said, the moment that this franchise became one of my favorites was in 2011.
You will learn respect.
Your soul is mine.
MK9 is the reason why I love this series. Everything from the characters, the start of fighting game narratives that took themselves seriously, and of course, the amount of content within this game was simply amazing. Even the successor, with Mortal Kombat 10 or MKX, was an awesome time that I spent a lot of hours playing with friends and against the CPU. The content was also still great, and the gameplay feeling was superb. Now, when Mortal Kombat 11 launched, I still really liked the game, even though the story wasn't my cup of tea. It still had its moments. I put well over 40 hours into this game, which might not seem like a lot to some people, but keep in mind, I don't play fighting games that much, so that is a lot for me. My gripe with the game was that Mortal Kombat 10 felt way better to play, however, I liked the customization and rewards better in MK11. My thought process was that I really hoped that the next Mortal Kombat game would make sure to improve on these aspects and blend these two amazing titles together to form the quintessential MK experience. And after playing MK1's beta, I thought it could be. Oh man, how I couldn't have been more wrong.
And here we go.
Mortal Kombat 1 was a game that I was so excited for that I did the fatal mistake that you should never do, and I will not repeat again, by pre-ordering the game. But not just the base game, which is $70, I pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition. There are so many fundamentally things wrong with this title, it just makes me question what the hell was going on behind the scenes. The very first thing that we're going to tackle is the terrible story that starts off decently and you think has promise, but quickly in the second act shows that no matter how much potential you might have, you can still fall off a damn cliff. I'm not going to go through the whole story because, quite frankly, we would be here all day with me picking it apart, and there are breakdowns on YouTube, but just essentially, if you don't know, I'll just run through it just very, very quickly with the Cliff Notes version. Liu Kang is the protector of Earthrealm, and he reboots the timeline at the end of MK11. And I have no idea what happened in the writing process of MK1, but whoever wrote the second act must have been eating crayons in the back of the class. Look, I know this might sound harsh, but I cannot understand how you mess up a reboot of your own franchise because you wrote yourself into a corner. If you don't know, Mortal Kombat has different timelines that can merge together to create different stories. It didn't used to always be like this. The idea was played around with enough that they decided to keep it. Unfortunately, when this stuff started to appear, the fans like myself didn't mind it at first. However, the longer it kept going, the worse it got. That's the whole reason why we have this stuff currently. Now, I'm not saying there isn't potential here because this is how we get some beloved characters to return to the roster, but just drop the timeline bullshit already. It is getting so played out. I want consequences in the game for characters. I'm not joking, by the way. If you were to take a shot of alcohol every time the characters in MK1 said timeline, you would be dead by the end of the game. You would be dead on the floor.
The Scorpion invading our timeline also lost his wife and son to Quan Chi. Scorpion's frustration exploded into rage. He has vowed to burn this entire timeline.
This battle ends with your timeline obliterated.
All of the other realms in this timeline are safe.
May there be other timelines and titans to find.
If you like the story in this, then hey, more power to you. If you had fun with this game, then more power to you. Like I said before, this is my opinion. It's okay to have different ones. But the story in MK1 just left me so unsatisfied in the second half. It felt like it was just duct taped together and thrown out the door. I don't know if it was time constraints or they just ran out of ideas, but it was beyond disappointing.
Disappointed!
Now, I know for some of you and a lot of people really don't care about the story, and they'll say things like, well, the story doesn't really matter. How's everything else? Not good. Not good. See, I always like to play the story first in fighting games because it's a great way to get used to the mechanics as well as the characters. And to me, it's a great way of introducing you to things before you go off on your own because after you're done completing the story, it's really up to the content the rest of the game has to keep you entertained. And this is where the flaws really start to show. You see, I know this system has been brought up 1,000 times in videos before mine, but why? Why must you have the cameo system in this game, NetherRealm? The cameo system in Mortal Kombat 1 is like a tag team system, which you probably have already been seeing on screen, where characters will come in out of nowhere off screen and do combo breakers and stuff like that. And you're probably thinking right about now, you can turn this stuff off, right? That's a good one. That's a good. No, you can't. You cannot.
What the hell is this?
The game forces you to play with this mechanic that is so damn annoying that after reinstalling this game to get footage, I instantly remembered why I deleted it in the first place after beating the story. NetherRealm, why in the hell are you forcing players to play this way when most of us just want a one-on-one fighting game? There is nothing more infuriating than comboing someone, and then just as you're about to finish the combo, the cameo system comes in and acts like a bailout as a breaker. It probably sounded good on paper with the developers, but to not give us traditional and casual players a way to turn this shit off is so ignorant. Listen, NetherRealm, here's an idea for you. If I want to play tag team, I will play tag team. Don't force it down my damn throat. Now, for those of you that don't know, in older Mortal Kombat titles, after winning matches and so on and so forth, you would get coins as well as leveling up your characters. And there used to be a separate mode called the Crypt in older titles. And if you don't know what that is, it's okay. It's where you would, after fighting and winning matches, you could spend your coin on getting different skins, character art, and a whole bunch of other unlockable goodies. Does anybody else remember that? Because I certainly do, and I really liked it. You see, to some people, the crypt in Mortal Kombat is unnecessary. It's just wasted time to walk around an empty space. But to me as a player, getting to walk around and unlock chests with different rewards is a great time. It's a fun way of saying, look how hard you worked, and this is the reward for doing so. If you can't pick up what I'm putting down here, Mortal Kombat 1 just completely abandons the crypt. Because MK1 just says, put your coins in this pan and the dragon will melt them and we'll just shit out a whole bunch of rewards that you probably don't really want. That's right, the crypt is gone from MK1, relegating it to a dragon that you now just put your coins on the pan and press the go button. Boy oh boy, what fun. And speaking of skins and customization, it is barely here. The customization of MK1 is such a downgrade, it makes the previous game, MK11, look like it had more care and passion put into it. I have no idea how you build a system in the previous title that all you have to do is either carry it over or just add one or two things into it. And plus, not even letting us pick our own colors with the skins. Instead, we have to go off of pre-existing palettes that you have to unlock. Why do we have this? Why? I can't understand how this happened. Was this not a priority? Did NetherRealm just put this on the back burner during development? Regardless, this is just a terrible system. Now look, as much shit as I'm giving the game here, they did try with a new game mode called Invasions, where you, the player, go around on a board game and move your character to different zones to unlock character customization and other rewards while you level up. Once again, it sounds good on paper, right?
I'm beginning to see a pattern here that I'm not so sure if I like.
This game mode is not that fun. I can see that there were developers that definitely tried to make this a good mode, but to me, it is just boring and tedious. The thing that pisses me off the most is that if you really want to level up your fighter, this is the only way to do that. And I know, some people might say that's not true, you can do the traditional towers and still level up. Yeah, no, bullshit. You see, once again, the game forces you to play the way the developers want you to play. Because yes, by all means, go ahead and go do the traditional towers in the game and see how much XP the game gives you, because it's terrible compared to the Invasions mode. One proof? I took a character that I didn't use, and within a single tower fight consisting of 3 opponents on the board game map, I leveled up to nearly level 5, starting from 0. I went to the traditional towers mode, and I picked a 6 opponent tower with a character I once again never used. How much XP did I get? Not even enough to level me past 2. Why is the game continuously penalizing me for playing how I want to play? I love playing traditional tower matches because to me, they are fun. And I know for some people they can be very boring, but I use them as tune-ups before going online or starting a harder tower challenge. Yet, if I want to level up and get the best gear and skins for my character, the game is forcing me to pick a game mode I do not want to play. So, just between you and I, you want to know what I did? I re-downloaded Mortal Kombat 11, and my goodness, upon replaying this game, I realized I was a little bit too harsh on it when it came out. Now, MK11 is not perfect. I don't want to hear comments saying this guy's a sympathizer for the previous game in the series and all that kind of stuff. To me, it just plays better. But you want to know the best thing that Mortal Kombat 11 does? It didn't once penalize me for playing in the game modes I wanted to play, like towers, or capping my XP, or even my tokens or coins. I mean, hell, even in local matches, which means essentially you playing a friend on a couch co-op or the CPU to warm up. On MK1, you don't even level up against playing neither of them. Why?
Why? Why? Why?
Whereas on the previous game, it still rewards you no matter what you do. Look, with all these issues the game has, at least it can't get worse, right?
Oh. Oh. Oh, no.
That's right, folks. Come up and get your DLC. That is $49.99. And keep in mind, folks, this is a $70 game asking for a $50 DLC. Gaming today. Isn't it crazy? NetherRealm also said the only way you can get one of the most iconic characters in Mortal Kombat history called Noob Saibot is to buy this DLC. Then they go back on their word after the poor sales and sell him separately. What the fuck? This game is just terrible decision after terrible decision. There is a reason why Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 are so successful, as well as popular, and that's because they don't force people on how they want you to play. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Street Fighter 6, I was still able to feel like I was rewarded, whether I played offline modes or online modes, and same thing goes for Tekken 8. By no means do I want the Mortal Kombat franchise to be taken down or disappear for a long time. I just want it to do better because honestly, there are still bright spots in here, like the graphics and the presentation still being great, even though not as personable as the last couple of games with character intros and things of that sort. The cutscenes still had my jaw on the floor, like I can't believe I'm playing this. The game still also has a great tutorial for newcomers and veterans alike, as well as adding secret characters like Floyd, which a lot of fans are going crazy for, and continuing to drop amazing guest characters like Conan the Barbarian or my favorite, the T-1000. It's clear that the franchise needs to evolve to stay relevant, and I understand that, but it also needs to stay true to its roots. Fans like myself and many others have stuck by the series for its brutal combat, one-on-one fighting, iconic characters, and very engaging lore, which is honestly really fun to read for me. But if the series continues to prioritize profit over innovation and quality, its future is in serious jeopardy. It's time for Mortal Kombat to find a balance between nostalgia and progress, giving us fans the experience we deserve while charting a path forward that reinvigorates the franchise without compromising its integrity. I wholeheartedly mean this. The ball is now in NetherRealm's court, and it's crucial they rise to the occasion before Mortal Kombat becomes another casualty of the gaming industry's landscape and trend towards exploitation as well as greed. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe out there. I want to give two big shouts to two very good friends of mine. Both of them happen to be named Brian. One's with a Y, another one is with an I. Brian with a Y, thank you so much, brother, for helping me with the thumbnail and giving me ideas and pointers for it. I really do appreciate that. Brian with an I, thank you so much for helping me with the script as well as going forward and giving me some ideas for it as far as video ideas, because him and I both bought the game at launch, and even though we see that the game has gotten better with post-launch content, it's still not in a place where we want to re-download almost a 100 gigabyte game. And to be honest with you, I just don't think it's worth your hard-earned money at this point, even at this stage in its life cycle. So, but anyways, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to both of those guys. Very good friends of mine. They're awesome. They're always been supporting me, as well as all the other friends that watch my channel. So, and I just want to say thank you to every single one of you that has been subscribing and liking my content. It has been absolutely insane to go from 700 subs to almost over 3,000 ever since I started doing this video essay content. And I just like to have fun with it. It's just a hobby for me. I just like to do certain things. So, but other than that, guys, please take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.